Episode 15 today. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for all the support. Keep subscribing, keep sending out the vids, tagging those creators. Continue to follow on all social media pages, man. Today we got a special guest in the building. We got our boy Hulian from the podcast Grain of Salt. And he got some interesting things going on in his life right now. So let's start it off, Hulian. What's going on, man?
First off, man, thanks for having me. So just here to promote my book. I think what you're doing is awesome, man, for the area, giving different artists, musicians, anything, a chance to get the word out there. I think that's great. But yeah, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about my book, The College Blueprint, Your Guide to Collegiate Success. This is a book that I'm very proud of and I believe a lot about. I think that a lot of students coming to college being first generation students and things like that, they don't know what to expect when they get into school. Mm-hmm. So I thought, when I graduated, I started thinking about those kids and I'm thinking, how could I be a big homie without, reaching every single first generation student? So I thought, writing a book would probably be the best way to get a hold of these students. So right now, this book, I'm just trying to get into different schools and even try to get into like a first year's course and things like that.
So congratulations on being a graduate, by the way.
Thanks,
as well.
Man, I appreciate it.
So basically, how did it come along? You was just like, I just want to do something to help, or?
Yeah, so I thought about how many opportunities college gave me. Mm-hmm. I started off my first year and a half playing college basketball actually in Virginia. So I did that, and then I'm transferred up here, and I ended up graduating in Purdue Northwest. And I thought about how many opportunities that it gave me as far as jobs, how many people that allowed me to meet. So I'm thinking, how could I give back? How could I give back to my college experience? Yeah. And this book just been on my mind. I don't read a lot of books, so I'm like, I'm not writing a book. Yeah. But it kept tugging on me. So one day I did research, on how to write a book, how to get it published, how to get it edited, how to do the artwork. And I'm like, I can maybe do this. So I started it, but then I had work, so I kind of always put it off. Yeah. But then this pandemic hit, and I ended up getting laid off. So I was thinking, how could I best utilize my time during this pandemic? So one of the things I was thinking about was, like you talked about when this first started, was the podcast, and the second thing was the book. Mm-hmm. So I just went in, and it took me about 3 or 4 months to write it, and it's I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's basically a guide. It's not like a step-by-step do exactly this. It's just ideas and principles that every student should live by when they're going to school. Keeping a planner, organizing your time, organizing your finances, and just doing what you can do so you can maximize the most out of your college career. Mm-hmm. I've been a student who didn't get the best grades, and I've graduated at the top 10% of my class. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been a student athlete, I've been out of school, I've been in school. So I kind of knew during my 6 years in and out of school how to navigate, and that's all in this book. So that's, I believe in it.
Yeah. What did you graduate with?
Business management.
Business. So in the book, are you like pushing that, or is it more of like, follow your own wave, but this is the easiest way?
So I thought about initially pushing kind of the business route. The reason I got in business because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got into school. Mm-hmm. And business is one of those degrees where you can do a myriad of things when you graduate. But I wanted to kind of be a one-size-fits-all, so I didn't push business. Yeah. I just pushed principles. So no matter if you're in chemistry, no matter if you're a nursing, these principles could apply to you. So I think it could reach out, far. It's very far reaching. Even if you're an athlete, and if you're an athlete in college, your life is completely different than regular students. So it's even some nuggets in here for them, and even if you don't have, even if you're out of college or not looking to go to college, somebody that is going to college. So this is a great book for them, even if they're in high school right now.
All right. So, I'm completely new to the whole, like, how to write a book process. Yeah. It's not like every day you just meet an author, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what was that process like?
So the first thing you want to do is you write a manuscript. So basically what a manuscript is, it's just like a rough draft. You can do it on Microsoft Word. I used Google Docs because I could organize each chapter in different files and it automatically saved. So you start with a manuscript. After that, you're gonna wanna comb through it and read through your own work before you send it off to an editor. So I used a specific website where you can say, hey, I have this job, this many pages that I wrote. Are you willing to do this? And they'll give you a certain amount to pay. And you get 1 or 2 people to edit it. And they'll edit it for you. They'll say, hey, this is what you might want to change. This is what needs changing. And they'll go in and change it for themselves. So after you get it edited, then it needs to be formatted so it could go into a book. So the different, sometimes if it's not formatted right, how this chapter ends, it'll start the new chapter at the bottom of the page if it's not formatted right. So a lot of people try to do that themselves on Adobe, I don't know, but it always ends up messed up. So you want to really spend your time, and it's an investment. It's a book, it's an investment. So I got it formatted, and then after you get it formatted, or while you're getting it formatted, you're gonna need somebody to do your cover art. And the cover art needs to be a specific way in a specific JPEG, so it could be, and you can go on like websites like Fiverr or anything like that, and they can work with you to get a cover. So it's not a lot of steps. It's just you have to be committed to it. The hardest part about writing a book was actually writing the book. Like sometimes you might get writer's block. Sometimes you might think of, oh, okay, I don't know what to write next, but you can't write just a 50-page book. So like you have to really turn the music off, get into a zone. You have to be by yourself sometimes and just write and just let it come to you. But that's kind of the process.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too, especially when talking about creators and everything. When we did the last interview with Taji, we asked him about that too. Like, do you get creators block a lot? And you saying that same thing. Like, for people who are trying to create things, it's gonna happen. It happens to every single person. It happens to me when I come to editing. It happened to you writing a book. I'm sure on a podcast it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
stay persistent with whatever you're doing for sure. So what do you hope to take from this, like as far as sales and?
So the main goal is I've been having like a lot of family and friends, purchase the book and things like that. But I'm hoping to get this into schools, because while I was in school, it was a lot of books and things that we read. And I'm like, I could write that. And we're paying $15, $20, sometimes $50 for a book, and I'm like, what better than somebody that went to the school and that lived and experienced the things that the students in this age are going through now. A lot of times 50, 60-year-olds are writing these kids books and they don't understand the lives that they live now. I'm living that life, or I lived that life, so I could kind of teach you how to navigate. And that's kind of what I'm looking to gain for, just getting into the school that I graduated from, Purdue Northwest, and then hopefully had a word spread and get it into other courses.
How is that going so far?
It's going well with the pandemic and everything. Like, professors are just now starting to respond to emails. So I've been sending my manuscript or my edited version the book out. So they're in the process of reading it right now to make sure this is something that they will want in the class. So I've gotten, some people to read it. One of my high school teachers wants me to come down and speak to the kids.
Oh yes.
When everything opens back up. So I think that's kind of my main thing is I'm not worrying about how many books it's gonna sell. If I could reach 2 or 3 kids in a positive way, and they could just come to me and be like, listen, man, this book, changed my outlook on college, which ultimately changed my life. Like, that would mean a lot to me.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. Definitely in it for the right reason, not just sell. So, with that being said, let's say you did get it into colleges and schools, high schools. Would you write another one?
So we were just talking about like the writer's block type thing, or the creative. I was thinking I would love to write another book, right? I have to live a little bit more life and experience some more things, so I'm able to give that information. I think nowadays, a lot of information is withheld. Like, people people know things and people know how to do things, but exactly the steps to go about doing them, a lot of that is withheld.
Yeah.
In this book, if you want to make straight A's, it's in this book. Like I've gotten straight A's my last 2 years in college. Like it's what you need to do is in this book. Sometimes some people say, well, your mindset has to shift and blah. Like no, just information. So I think for me to write another book, I'm gonna have to just keep living life and get more information, because the next book I wanted it to be for post college graduates.
Gotcha.
And how to be successful in that area of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's definitely dope. Me as being a college student at a point in time, we actually met in college.
Yeah.
It is difficult to like take the word from someone that graduated 30 years ago or not the same demographic as us. Like for you to be a young African American male who has graduated college with these grades, if you come to me with a book, I'm definitely gonna listen before my 70-year-old professor. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely what's up, and definitely like wish you the best on that journey that you're taking.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Grain of Salt. I just saw the first episode 2 days ago.
Yeah, well, yesterday actually it dropped.
Oh, yesterday.
Thursday, yep.
Yeah, I definitely checked it out. Sounds great, especially for
great.
like first episode and stuff like that. It sounded great. So, yeah, man, let's talk about Grain of Salt.
So we're still the Grain of Salt. The idea came from I have a friend of mine who I went to school with. I was her RA, and we argue and disagree a lot. Like we're friends, but we have a lot of different point of view on things.
Yeah.
And one day we were having like a really good conversation, and we thought, wouldn't it be cool if like other people could listen in and chime in and give their perspective on things? Like I have crazy perspectives, she has crazy perspectives. So it's basically a show like that. And like when I saw you doing your thing on the podcast, I'm like, man, like that's an awesome thing to do, to reach people digitally like you're doing. It's cool. We don't do the video setup yet, but we're gonna eventually get to that too. And I just want to just keep reaching people and not only have fun and do all those types of things, but information, just giving information, telling our audience what we know, building a relationship with the audience. I'm sure you have listeners that you have a relationship with.
Yeah, definitely.
That means a lot. And like I said, our first episode came out yesterday. You could be looking for us every Thursday on Spotify, Apple. We're still waiting on them to approve us and everything like that. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that.
So what type of topics do you guys talk about mostly on there?
So we talk about just pop culture. Like next episode will definitely be about the George Floyd situation, dating, post-college life, just young adult stuff. We're a lot of listeners right now, we're all in our early to mid 20s, and we're still figuring stuff out in life. So that's what the podcast is about, just talking our way through life. And the way we came up with the name is, even though we had these opinions and even though we have these takes, like the next episode is going to be some very interesting takes. Everything you want to take with a grain of salt. Some people take things too serious, and this is not what it's about. We're not saying, hey, what's on here is Bible. On the last episode, Amara talked about freaking Taylor Swift. Amara is my co-host on the show. Taylor Swift being better than Beyonce. Come on. So take it with a grain of salt, man. Listen to it. There's going to be more crazy takes like that. We come from two different backgrounds, but we're good at disagreeing with each other, and it's a great show.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like you're in it for the right reason. When I first started doing this, certain people had just tried to create a podcast or whatever, and I would ask them that same question, like, well, why are you doing it? Yeah. Oh, because I hope to get rich. Or I'm like, that's not the right reason to do it, bro. So y'all definitely have like a good idea, and that's like a very good base foundation that you guys have to grow off of. So what would be your goals for it?
So the first goal for it is to be consistent. You're consistent with the content that you're put out, even on days that you don't feel like doing it, I'm sure, or days that you're like, I don't know. You still get up, set up your lights, set up your cameras, and you do it. You put the content out. So I think just staying consistent and aligning our schedules will be the most important thing. And I forgot to tell you where you guys can find the podcast. My name on Instagram is Hulian 44, like Julian with a H, Hulian 44, and then it's in the link is in the bio. But we have to be consistent. A lot of people start some things, they start YouTube channels, they start workout regimens or whatever. The first week you hype, you done bought everything you need, and the next week you might still be doing it. The third week you're like, I'm not getting enough viewers or I'm not seeing enough results, so you stop. And I think if you're in it for the reasons like you said, I'm trying to get famous and all of that, that's what can cause you to stop prematurely. But if you're in it for the right reasons, then you can keep going, especially if you have a passion for it, especially if you love it. Mm-hmm. It's easy to keep going no matter how many people listening, because you're always gonna have those people that follow you.
Yeah. I'll tell anybody that, man. No matter what it is, regardless if it's podcasting, YouTube, and being an athlete, writing a book, like if you're not in it because your heart is in it, 9 times out of 10 you're probably gonna fail, because those tough times are gonna come. Like you got starting right now, it's a lot of you're gonna get like a lot of support from people that know you, but when you get 7-10 episodes in and those people start falling off, it really takes some strong willpower to be like, you know what, we like doing it, so we just gonna keep doing it. So definitely keep doing that, and I will have the link to that podcast, the link to buy your book and all of that in the description as well. I wanted to ask you, it's crazy that you brought up the like what's going on in the world right now. I wanted to get your opinion on it. Like, what do you think about basically what's going on?
I think a big conversation that was going on right now are the riots and things like that. I think it gets to a point in any situation where enough is enough, and sometimes it comes to that. Now, while we speak right now, it's Friday. While we speak, the guy who killed George Floyd is still not arrested, and a lot of people are worrying about the targets or the auto zones that are getting caught on fire. This guy killed somebody and he's still not arrested. So I think for every action, there is a reaction, and it's only so much marching with picket signs and peaceful protesting you can do before you get this type of reaction. And for people to say, well, they don't have to do that, they're destroying their own communities and all of that type of stuff. Black people in specific are very resilient people. We can do without a target. We can do without an auto zone.
Definitely.
But we can't keep doing with losing our black man to this. You know, his mom, his sister, his niece, his nephews, his sons had to see him die on camera. And to worry about a multi-billion-dollar company like a Target being burned down in a neighborhood where they probably, a lot of those people, you know, don't have the means or the resources to shop somewhere like that in the first place, like that shouldn't be what we're focused on. We should be focused on these killings that keep going unpunished. Punishment needs to happen, and that's what I think about it. What about you, man?
Definitely, I agree 100%. You know, the statements like, "Oh, I don't understand why these people are doing that," or "That's not cause for that." That's like pure ignorance, and you're just uneducated on the situation. Like you said, you can march and please don't do this and please don't do that for 40 years, but the fact is, eventually, you got to fight force with force. Now, am I saying that it's right to necessarily burn down the I'm not saying that violence is right, but I'm saying when you reach a certain point, certain things have to happen in order to listen. And we know, speaking from that demographic, talking is not going to get into a rich person's ear. Action is, and that's what's happening right now. So I really want to see what's going to happen following this situation, you know, on how it's handled. Rather, it's, all right, we can either talk and settle this out and this needs to be fixed, or it's just going to continue to happen.
It's definitely going to keep happening, because people at this point are getting fed up. And like you said, rich people, they listen to action. You know, when you want to do business with a rich person, they don't care how much they like you. They want to hear numbers. They want to see action. And these places being burned down, I was in the transportation industry, so I understand logistics and supply chain management. this doesn't just affect the stores and the people that work at the stores. This affect a truck driver. That's one less run he has. That's, business that, maybe a dog food company or something that depend on the Target to sell their. This affects a lot of things. And once people start waking up, we're not asking you, African American people, black people, whatever you call us. We're strong and resilient people, and we don't need. Well, most of us, we don't need people to like us. We just need you to respect us and respect life. Mm-hmm. So that's not happening right now. So until you respect life, then properties gonna keep getting disrespected. And like he said, I don't condone it, but I understand it. Mm-hmm. And every action, there's a reaction.
For sure, 100%, 100%, man. Like you said, it's almost sickening, man, because to be a human, how can you watch another human being getting killed and not understand the outrage? This man's not arrested for murder. Like, it's clearly murder. Like, you watched it being murdered. Yeah. The fact that Target is getting burnt down has nothing to do with that at all. If he would have got arrested and charged for what actually happened, Target would still be there right now. Correct. But unless you're educated enough to see through just, you want free stuff or you're just looting, then you're going to continue to be confused on the situation, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just a tough situation. I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it on Grain of Salt for sure.
Yeah, it'll definitely be some different perspectives. But I'm looking forward to it too, man. I'm looking forward to it too.
So just let us know where to buy the book. Give us your social media accounts again.
Yeah, so the book is also going to be on my Instagram page, the College Blueprint, Your Guide to Collegiate Success. You can find my Instagram page at Hulian44, Hulian 44, and the links to both the book and the podcast will be in the descriptions. You guys support me in the world, and we're gonna keep creating, man. Especially through the pandemic and everything. I think it's a tough time, but it birthed a lot of good things.
Definitely.
And just support, especially if you're in this area. Let's just support each other. And I appreciate you for having me on, man.
No problem, bro. Yeah. Thank Hulian for coming through. Appreciate y'all supporting. Go check out that last Creative Friday. And we'll holler at you next week. It's Cozy on the
Put the Henny on ice, she throwing it back and she doing it right. Hit his ass with her left, hit his ass with her right. Chopper knock his ass down, don't care about his height. Had to tell all my ops I'ma catch him on sight. I just hop in the booth and I don't got a right.